Hello, it is Dr. Amy, your breakthrough life coach and business coach. And I'm coming to you today for another lunchtime inspiring moment. It is Friday, so we are going to have our Finance Friday lesson. So I would like for you to go ahead and get a piece of paper or a notebook so you can jot some things down. And when I teach these finance lessons, one of two things happens. It's either you've already done these, so as I talk about it, perhaps you can check some things off that you have already done. And then if you have not done them, then of course put it on your to-do list to get done. So I don't want anybody to say, oh, you've talked about this before, or you've discussed that before. The bigger question is, have you done it? Have you implemented it? Have you taken action on it? I had one of my coaches who told me years ago that, what did she say? Teaching is repetitive until learning or action takes place. So today's Finance Friday lesson is how to become recession proof. How to become recession proof. And do you know what that means when I say recession proof? How to become recession proof. What it means is making sure that you have some things set up, that you are taking some steps to protect yourself and protect your finances from the effects of economic downturns, right? That's what recession proof means. So today I want to bring together some things to make sure that you're doing, and if you're not doing, then you can get on board to get these done. And when I talk about recession proof, the number one, the biggest thing, the first thing that I have to say is pay yourself first. Make sure and write that down. Pay yourself first. That means saving. Make sure your money is going into saving and you are building up that emergency fund. So I hope that you can check that off, that you're saving, you're building up your emergency fund, that at a minimum you have 6 to 12 months in your savings account, in your emergency fund, that in case something happens, you can pay your family expenses. So which means when I say pay yourself first, making sure that you have enough. You know what your number is, that break-even number. You know exactly what it takes to run your household, right? That mortgage, your electricity, all of the expenses for your kids, food, everything else. You know that number, and you have at least 6 months to a year. I say at least a year saved up somewhere in an emergency fund. All right. So number one, to become recession proof, pay yourself first. All right. Hope you have that. Number one. So the second thing is to diversify your income sources. Diversify your income sources. So most people, I'm not going to say most of us because I don't have a 9-to-5 job, but most people have a W-2 9-to-5 main source of income, right? But in order to become recession proof, you need to diversify your income sources and make sure that you have another source of income. Just in case something happens, you get downsized, right-sized, fired, terminated, somebody break a leg or whatever, and short-term disability ends, make sure that you have something else going on in your life. So number two is diversify your income sources. That's my number two after pay yourself first. That's the number two way to become recession proof, is to diversify your income. And again, this means what? Having multiple sources of income streams, such as a side business, freelance work, something that you're doing in addition to your main job. All right, you got that? Check. That's check. Either you're doing it or you're going to put it on your list to get it done. All right, number three, invest in your education, your skills. And I said this is important, to invest in your education and your skills while you have that extra disposable income. That's how you become recession proof. So investing in your education and your skills, all of this can help you become more recession proof, because you'll have the skills to get some things done in case something happens, in case the economy goes up in flame or whatever. So make sure that you are attending workshops, you are building your knowledge and everything. And this is where I also said too, it's probably good to invest in a coach or someone who can help you. So have that on your list. Check. Invest in your education. So here's number 3. After you've invested in your education, invest in assets that appreciate, right? So these are things where I'm talking about investing in real estate, investing in stocks, things that will go up in value. These can help you to become more recession proof, and these assets tend to hold their value or increase in value during economic downturns. So invest in assets that appreciate, that goes up in value. All right, I have another one. Number 5, in order to become recession proof, work now to reduce your bad debt, right? Whatever high interest debt. So we all, and I said we are here as, pursuing, becoming wealth creators, work to reduce your bad debt. So I don't personally, as a financial educator, I don't consider your mortgage or my mortgage bad debt. I know there are other finance people who say, try to pay off everything, including your mortgage. But I say your bad debt, your high interest debt, right? And keep paying down your mortgage, because you do need some things to actually write off. So reducing your bad debt can help you become more recession proof. This means paying off those high interest debt, those high interest credit card, and avoiding taking on new high interest debt. All right. So reduce those bad debt and high interest debt as a way to become recession proof. And then with that, number 6, I'm going to say, take advantage then of your good credit. If you have good credit, now listen to this very carefully. You have good credit and you have equity in your home. This is something that I tell my clients and students all of the time. People will say, oh, I have equity in my home. Oh, I have equity. Well, great. But equity means nothing until it's realized. So which means you can have $100,000 of equity sitting in your home, right? Well, if you don't pull that out now and just say you lose your job or something happens, well, guess what? You're not going to be able to pull that equity out, because when you pull it out, you're getting either a second loan or a line of credit, a HELOC or something like that. And these banks are not loyal. While you have a job, they'll give you a loan. But if you do not have a job, you can have money sitting in their bank and they're not going to give you a HELOC. So what I'm saying to you is utilize your good credit right now while things are good. And if you have lots of equity in your home, pull it out. Now pull it out and listen very carefully as I say to you. When you pull that money out, don't pull it out to go shopping and do frivolous things with it. Pull it out and invest it at a higher interest rate than what you're paid. That's the smart thing. Invest it in higher things that you're going to get a higher return. Stocks, real estate, right? You can buy real estate and flip a house and get 25-50%, return on your money, or, whatever that means. So research out and figure out, don't pull money out of your house and you're just going to spend it or buy a new car or something like that and buy assets that don't go up in value. Are you getting me there? Because I don't want anybody to pull money out just to be spending. So number 6 was take advantage of your good credit now and refinance if you can. And on the flip side of that, if you don't have good credit, then this is where you need to focus on credit repair. Work on improving your credit. It's not too late. It's not too bad. You can repair your credit so you can get back in the game. The best thing we can do, I know I have a lot of people who will say, oh, I like to use cash and I'm going to use my money and I don't like getting things on credit. But here in America, we have a big privilege where we can buy something on credit, i.e. buying a house, take control of that house, get a loan, and you're controlling these big assets, $1 million assets, and all you put into it out of your money was perhaps 6%, 10% down? Or you can buy a house and pay Well, before it was 20%, but we all know you can buy a house and pay less than that, and you control that asset. So make sure you have the credit so you can get in the game and use funding and use credit to become recession proof. All right, another one is number 7. Now, this one I have. Make sure you have some living benefits insurance, right? So I think a lot of people sleep on insurance, right? Insurance is not your old insurance where you buy a term policy, and then if someone dies, you die, somebody else benefit from it. So now I want you to look into all of the different types of insurance. Yes, in our finance business, we tell our clients, yes, use term insurance, but use whole life insurance too, where you can pull money out. You can put money in today, get a kid policy where you control it, dump a lot of money into it. And then it's time for those kids to go to college. Well, you can pull that money out. And here's the secret. When you pull money out of a life insurance policy, it does not trigger a tax event. It does not trigger a tax event. So this is another thing that this is a wealth strategy that a lot of people are using to grow their wealth. Put money, you can hide all your money in a life insurance policy, and listen to this. It doesn't even, when it's time to do that FAFSA for college, you're sending your babies off to college, the money that you have in these cash value life insurance policy does not even count towards the FAFSA. Can you believe that? So that's something you want to look into and change your mindset about all of the things. I hear a lot of negative things out there about insurance, but I know for me, and that's one of the things, and for me, that's why I long time ago got my license in that area, because I know that we can help a lot of people. And my coach told me about that years ago. And for me, when I invest in a coach, I do what they tell me to do. And when he said it a long time ago, I did it. And then of course, I don't like to leave money on the table. So that's why I got my license, so I can then help my community too. So make sure you have some living benefits insurance. If you don't know what living benefits is, then, make sure and send me an email so we can talk about that. So here's another one. We're talking about becoming recession proof today. So another one, number 8, is keep your expenses lower. Lower your expenses. Make sure, and I take that back. I'm not going to even say lower your expenses. Keep your expenses lower than your after tax pay. Would you believe that there's a lot of people out there that they're really living on credit cards and they probably don't even realize it? So make sure you keep your expenses lower than your after-tax pay, right? And this means avoiding whatever lifestyle or lifestyle inflation that you cannot afford. If you can't put things on credit card, and we all do. I use credit card too, but I guarantee you I'm paying my credit cards off at the end of the month, because I use my credit cards for business, for everything, and also to get those reward points, because I do not like leaving money on the table. So if the credit card company is going to give you rewards for using it, fine, but don't be trapped and don't pay that bill off at the end of the month. Get in the habit of only buying things that you can afford now. If you can't afford to pay for it right now, then I would say don't do it. So number 8 was keep your expenses lower than your after-tax pay. All right? Don't put things on credit card that you can't afford to pay out for right now. Are you picking up what I'm putting down? You guys, are you picking up what I'm putting down? I hope you are getting what I'm saying, because right now we are moving towards becoming recession proof. So those are my 8 things right there. What all did I say? Let's say I said how to become recession proof. Pay yourself first. That means save your money, right? Make sure you have your emergency fund. So this means, remember I said becoming recession proof means taking steps to protect yourself and your finances from the effects of an economic downturn. All right, so pay yourself first, save and build your emergency fund. I said to diversify your income sources and have at least one other extra stream of income. This is where, for me, I talk about having that side business. You can have a side business while you work your W-2 job. So I'm not advocating for anybody to just leave their job and say, hey, come and have your own business. There are some people who are tired, fed up, frustrated, and they call me and say, help me set up this business. And we do that right alongside of your job, and you make that decision. Maybe you love what you do, but you're not getting paid enough, and you want to do something that you're passionate about, or you just want to say, hey, I want to set something up to really generate more income. So diversify your income streams. Invest in yourself, invest in your education, invest in assets that appreciate, reduce your bad debt. I said use living benefits insurance, right, to help you to protect your family, first of all. And then that's another way that you can grow your money. So that is my Finance Friday lesson for you today. And I'm saying to everybody, let's go, let's do it. If you didn't see anybody growing up creating wealth, I'm telling you, it's not too late for you to do it. Get around groups, community. You're here in my community, and that's why I'm talking about we are becoming wealth creators. Some of us are already wealth creators, but I say becoming because it wasn't something that I saw growing up, but I know that I can make a difference, and I have turned it all around, and you can too. Become a wealth creator. Become recession proof. Set yourself up and your family up in a way that it doesn't matter what happens in the economy, that you're going to always be good to go. And over here, we want to be the lender and not the borrower. And the only way you can do that, my friend, is to become recession proof and be willing to give and help those others who are not. All right, I'm Dr. Amy. I hope you enjoyed this Finance Friday lesson for today. And I want to say to you, have a wonderful weekend. And I can't wait to see you right back here on Monday. Be blessed. Go out and multiply. Be fruitful and multiply. Love, love. Bye-bye.